It is Wednesday, January 22nd, 2025, and this is the latest breaking news from Medellin, Colombia, and Colombia as a whole. I have 4 big stories for you today, so make sure you stay till the end. Remember, for everybody who takes a second and go down and hit like, you all right. That's right. And if you like what you see, go down and hit subscribe. I do these videos for expats who live there and want to see the news in English for Colombia, and for those who are visiting Colombia. Let's jump into this first story right away. First up, I have unfortunate news to pass from Cartagena. We lost another American tourist. Leonard Hervey, an American tourist, was found deceased in a hotel near the historic center of Cartagena. Cartagena, along with Cali and Medellin, is among the cities with the highest number of deaths among foreign tourists in Colombia. The lifeless body of Leonard Hervey, an American tourist originally from New York, was found in the early hours of January 21st in the hostel located in the El Espinal neighborhood near the historic center of Cartagena. According to initial investigations, no signs of violence were found on the body. The man had recently arrived in the city and was staying at the hostel where he was found without vital signs. The official identification was made thanks to the documents found in his room. At this time, the Technical Investigation Court of the Attorney General's Office is carrying out the investigation to determine the exact cause of his passing. The body was transferred to the morgue of the forensic medicine in the Zaragoza neighborhood, where the corresponding procedures are being carried out. The authorities have not yet issued official statements on the case, so the investigations continue. This case adds to a series of tourist deaths recorded in the country's main tourist cities. In the first 5 months of 2024, 33 deaths of non-migrant foreigners were reported, of which 12 were homicides. Cartagena, Cali, and Medellin were the cities with the most tourist deaths, according to a report by the forensic medicine. Okay, next up, in sicko news, Frenchmen exploited 2 girls in Poblado. If it weren't for their screams, they would not have been discovered. French arrested for exploiting 2 girls in El Poblado. The mayor of Medellin, Federico Gutierrez, announced the arrest of 2 French citizens who were caught exploiting 2 minors. The incident occurred in the early hours of Tuesday, January 21st, when the authorities received a complaint from the security guard at their rented property in El Poblado. Upon entering the scene after hearing cries for help, they found 2 French citizens, both 30 years old, along with 2 minors aged 15 and 16. According to the preliminary report, physical aggression between the people involved was evident at the scene. One of the men and one of the girls had injuries, which aggravated the situation. The 2 French citizens were caught red-handed, and the minors were placed under the protection of the Colombian Institute of Family Welfare. This case adds to a worrying increase in the arrest of foreigners involved in the exploitation of young ones and adolescents in Medellin. According to data from the authorities, these arrests have increased by 1,100% in the past year. Police and the ICBF are continuing their investigations to clarify the facts and reinforce the measures that seek to eradicate the exploitation of young ones in the city. Okay, now I need to do a quick update on the Canadian. There were 2 Canadians, if you remember. One was a pair, but they showed in the video it was a black guy. The other one they showed, and if you remember, they didn't blur, and it was a white guy. This time, this is a recap, or an update, should I say, for the black guy. The level of torture that the employee kidnapped by Canadians in Medellin had to endure is revealed. A year after the brutal attack, one of the responsible was arrested. In 2023, a domestic worker hired to clean an apartment in the exclusive El Poblado sector was the victim of torture and beatings by 2 Canadian citizens. The foreigners, without evidence, accused her of stealing a ring and money, unleashing an episode of violence that marked her life. The woman, who had been hired through a property rental platform, recounted how her workday turned into a nightmare. The level of torture suffered by the employee kidnapped by Canadians in Medellin is revealed. According to the prosecution and the victim's accounts, the 2 men began to beat her mercilessly as soon as the argument began. They covered my mouth with a bag. They blew my mouth open with the force with which they pushed the bag into my mouth, and I started to vomit. One of them, the dark-skinned one, hit me in the ribs and abdomen. He punched me, and I felt like I couldn't breathe. Despite the employee's attempts to explain that she had not taken anything, the Canadians continued to hit her. According to the story, the attackers had no qualms about hitting her in the abdomen, even knowing that she had recently undergone thoracic surgery. And when she desperately tried to flee, she was intercepted and dragged back to the apartment. Foreigner who kidnapped and tortured employee in Medellin is discovered finally. The detainee, identified as Raymond Arthur Jr., was brought before the court, where he was charged with the crimes of torture, aggravated kidnapping, and theft. During the arraignment hearing, more details of the brutality of the case became known. According to the case file, the torture lasted for about 2 hours. The woman recalled that she had to scream in pain. One of the Canadians told her, quote, "You have to die," unquote. Furthermore, it became clear that the theft allegations were unfounded. At the hearing, it was revealed that the attackers claimed that the ring they were looking for was in a room that the victim had not even entered. Breaking news. There's been a tragic paragliding accident in Colombia. A tragic accident occurred on January 21st, 2025 in Rodonillo, Valle de Cauca, where a Polish tourist named Paulina Busquet fell from a paraglider and died. The incident was captured on video, showing that she accidentally released her parachute mid-flight. Authorities are investigating the accident, with initial reports suggesting she did not fasten her harness properly. Paulina was paragliding with friends and had the necessary permits, but she was not part of an ongoing paragliding championship in the area. The investigation will also look into the safety measures provided by the paragliding service companies. Lastly, a woman was arrested for robbing a tourist in Cartagena. Woman in Cartagena steals from a tourist and is captured by the police with the loot. The detainee had a criminal record for theft. The Metropolitan Police of Cartagena reported the arrest of a 19-year-old woman who robbed a national tourist in the Torrices neighborhood after spending a night with them in a hotel in the historic center of the city. During the arrest, the officers recovered several valuable items that had been stolen from the victim, including 3 high-end cell phones, more than $500 in cash, and various credit cards. The total value of those recovered goods exceed 10 million Colombian pesos. The incident occurred after a night in which the tourist and the young woman enjoyed music, dancing, and local alcoholic drinks. However, upon awakening, the man noticed that his companion and her belongings had disappeared. The victim, after reacting quickly, alerted the authorities, which allowed them to begin a search for the suspect. The key to locating the woman was the tracking of one of the stolen devices. This allowed the police to locate her on a street in the Torrices neighborhood where she was arrested. At the time of her arrest, the young woman was carrying the object stolen from the tourist. Colonel Sandra Viviana Lopez Duque, the commander in charge of the Metropolitan Police, stressed the importance of the timely report, which facilitated the rapid identification and capture of the person responsible. In addition, it was revealed that the detainee, originally from the interior of the country, had a criminal record for this crime of theft, which reinforces suspicion about her involvement in similar criminal activities. The case is being investigated, and the young woman is awaiting charges and a decision on the precautionary measure. In the midst of this situation, the authorities issued recommendations to tourists and residents, suggesting that they be cautious when interacting with strangers and be vigilant with their personal safety, especially in private spaces. Now, guys, is it a good idea to have a wingman, a good friend, a partner just look out for you?
Yes,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Yes. Oh, of course.
Of course.
I think we all agree. That's right. I agree. Anyway, you're up to date with the latest news out of Medellin, Colombia, and Colombia as a whole. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to travel, but travel safe.
I'm back, motherfucker! I'm back!
So, hey, girl, thanks for coming by my place.
No worries. You mind if our girlfriend can come by with us?
Hell no. This why I watch dcbornrob.
Kini excited, dili na mag-online. Unsabay dugayan, sika babes kay nasulan. Idol ipadulan, ako ang padulan. Para may lumluman, dili-dili na tuluman. Hoy, shock ka, makaloka-loka. Si Bona sexy, lawas murag Coca-Cola. Ang kanyag ni mo sa akong kalibutan nga saag. Wala ko ikatubag, ikaw ra kong matawag. Murag kagabun sa kabugnaw sa taas. Sa imong paghawas, lawas ni mo labas. Sinut walay gas-gas, ako amo basbas.
close. East Coast swagger hit you with that travel pros. Colombia trips, Medellin tips on the real. Stay safe, stay aware, what's the deal? News on lock, know the blocks before you walk. Stick to the tours, avoid that shady talk. Urban jungle vibes for miles, it's hot. Keep your eyes and ears open, dots to connect the plot. For your journey, pack your mind, strap it tight. Travel safe insurance just in case, day or night. Rob's the plug, got the news tips to thrive. Medellin's your oyster, just stay wise to stay alive. Link up or sink, use the wisdom that's your shield. Guide your tours, soak the culture, streets revealed. Wonderous spots, safe zones, that's the key. DC Rob's the name, bringing you the clarity. Roll smart, roll deep with that travel wisdom. Medellin's a charm, minus the hazards that glisten. Follow the guide, navigate the pave. DC Rob, for your peace, make that trip safe. Hit the airport, got the passport stamp clean. Dream destination, life a vibrant scene. Cautious moves is your grooves, play your part. DC Rob coming through, future-proof, street smart.